The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me. And it doesn't matter with me or I and where we're at, as long as we're here at the appointed time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have? Well, the market was kind of topping out anyway. I had one position as we were talking. I had one position left in the long position in the Tech Insider, which I got out of this morning with Micron by the hair of my chinny chin at about $75 this morning. But we got pretty much all the wood on the bat on that one. But yeah, the more I looked at the options this morning, if this thing didn't break through 75, it's kind of like the rest of the market. I know we had kind of about 5 minutes of sheer terror when the headlines for a massive $5 trillion spending bill were bandied about, as they like to say, a trial balloon. Well, the market decided that they didn't like the Baby Ruth being thrown in the punch bowl and decided to voice its displeasure fairly quickly this morning. But I think that everybody's going to figure out that was... I wonder whether or not someone wanted to buy something. Maybe they just had some puts they needed to get out of. You know, I always wonder whether the politicians, when they talk about stuff that they know that they're never going to do, and everybody probably thinks they are bat-crap crazy to even talk about, are they paying back maybe somebody on Wall Street? Are they getting paid by somebody on Wall Street? I guess they could always just be imbeciles. You never know. But anyway, a lot of talk about what probably isn't going to happen. But in this day and age, what do you have? You have machines. They read headlines, and that's all it takes. 877-927-6648. Duffy, don't hold it all in. I see there's some comments in the den here. It's not good to keep it in. Just let it out. Anyway, as far as volume, we had some fairly good volume yesterday, about 15 billion shares. And, of course, this is fun buying. I think some of it was coming in yesterday. We'll have to see what it looks like at the end of the day. Let's see if that's actually done. We got about 7 billion now. So there isn't a lot of volume to the downside, not a lot of volume to the upside. As I said yesterday, I didn't think that there was a lot of risk reward either higher or lower in this market. And when I talk about that, I'm not talking about looking at a 5-minute chart or something. I'm generally talking about a trade with at least 24 hours in it, if not longer. But you know what? There's about 7 billion shares now. Is that a whole lot? No. That probably puts us in the neighborhood of about 12 billion shares on the way down. But I think that the volume kind of falls off the same way on the way up. As we said yesterday, markets after 3-day weekends tend to either change the character and or direction. I think this is one where we're probably going to see the character change. And instead of being bearish and bullish, we may see a week of just sideways action. The option market makers continue to bury? I'll think of a better description. To dig themselves in like an Alabama tick. I like that one. I heard that last month ago or something. Anyway, they're kind of digging themselves in for not much work or not much movement. Now, of course, Friday really is the kind of start of options, kind of in the middle part. The big day really is the 8th of the month, and that is the Delta Neutral Day. And then, of course, expiration this month is on the 17th for June. We've got a little bit of earnings stuff going on out here today. Chewy's out after the bell. We'll look at some of these in the charts in a little bit. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise also, it did well, I thought, if I remember right, on last earnings. For some reason, I watched about 15 minutes of TV from the financial infotainment variety, and man, everybody's all up in GameStop. I don't know why they're spending so much time on that stock, but they are. MongoDB, another database company, but I have a feeling that I'm wondering whether Chewy can tell us. They've had a lot of problems with supply chain disruptions. Maybe that is one of the first ones that really started to have it. Maybe that's going to change. We'll know about that after the bell tonight, so maybe that'll tell us a little bit. But anyway, again, just a little market burp, a little indigestion, something that ROLDIS, is that how I spell it right, would help. But now the option market maker dudes are just digging in. They're not. They're thinking that it's going to be trench warfare this week, and so far I don't see a lot in the charts, and certainly don't see what they're doing as anything other than building up positions and probably selling both sides and watching the premiums melt away, since they are a little bit elevated. Gold was down a little earlier this morning. That helped out with them throwing the Baby Ruth in the punch on the massive spending bill. I don't know if that was for political effect. I know Jay Powell and the president were supposed to meet today. I haven't seen anything in the headlines on that lately. Maybe it's later. Maybe it's already happened. Maybe somebody in the den will tell me. But I've been trying to avoid it since the news this morning. XLE's up another 1.7%. I just, as I said before, I'm not a big fan of buying drillers and that kind of stuff. But you got to think that if you're in the industry, you own a producing well or wells, you've got a fairly nice monopoly here in the United States. And I don't think anybody right now thinks much is going to happen to increase production here in the United States. So that's kind of it. Anyway, we're off 27 points on the S&P cash. Dow's down 171. Nasdaq's down 64. By the end of the day, I will not be surprised if we're a rounding error away from being higher. And I didn't see any headlines or anything on the Powell Biden, so I don't know. We'll be back in a minute. Maybe we'll be able to dig that out.
In a time of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve in a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors. Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Well, they informed me at the den that the meeting was yesterday, and I kept watching. I wasn't watching TV. I kept on waiting for the liner note to come out about them all getting together and shaking hands and singing Kumbaya, and I never saw it. I thought, well, it must be today then. But no, apparently it already happened. And, they must be out with the broom and stuff trying to clean it up because no big headlines out after that I could find even during the break. What do we have here? You can email me your questions at path@tfnn.com. You can also give me a call at 877-927-6648, and we can move along. But again, I continue to see a market that seems to me like it's satisfied at least for the next few days of kind of just going sideways and maybe a little bit of chop. We did, as I said earlier, have one long position in the Tech Insider. You're getting back up into some of these areas, and I wanted to see some better volume here. Let's go out here and clean this up a little bit. So I can take a look at it. But I just wasn't really impressed with the volume. Yesterday, you had about 15 million shares, which was okay. You didn't break the highs. But I think we bought this thing. I think I bought it like 66.50 or something, and to get out at 75 or around $75 today, not bad. But I think a lot of these things are just in trading ranges. That this thing's only at about 9 million shares late in the day. Still one of the better parts of the SMHs, but I think I got pretty much all the easy money. The rest of the money, I think, if it does go higher, is going to be more problematic. When we look at the SMHs out here, kind of the same kind of chart. The best you had was about 5 million shares in the SMHs, and that was but going back into the May 4th high. Energy was a little lighter off this May 12th low. Any way you want to look at it. So, yeah, just a nice few, what is that, $9, $8.50. In a bear market, it's always good to make a little money on the upside, even though the downside is probably going to be heavier. There's just no point right now where I see a great deal that says we're going to start heading down, and maybe if they start changing the options, I will. So what do we have in some of the bigger stocks out here? Microsoft really kind of back on a retracement. It hit these confluence levels. I know Tom is doing a webinar fairly soon, and for the low price of admission, you get his book. If you want a book on taking out and looking at confluence levels, that's in the last book that he wrote. But the simplistic version of that is that you want to see two different Fibonacci levels over time. And for me, over time means weeks and months, not hours and minutes. I have not seen this work really good in an intraday time frame or even interdays, but over time, very, very good. But here's a really good indication that you've probably gone and hit the highs, and that is a confluence level. That is the 382 and 618 retracements of a larger and a smaller Fibonacci movement. As you can see here, they're going to call the number that is used by both of them the focus number. That goes to a Joe DiNapoli terminology. And then you look at the first one and the second one, and you take the 618 of one to the 382 of the other. And if you have a very nice, in this case, you got less than $1, I think here. Was that 272.90 to 273.90? And it's around $1. On a almost $300 stock, anything around 0.5% is very good. Up to 1%, it actually starts being more mushy and harder to get your risk reward together. But this would be, if you were thinking Microsoft's the stock, I've got a short, or I was long and I got to get out of it. Those confluence levels work so well. Don't talk a lot about too much technology I use, but of course the art of timing the trade charts has it built in, so it makes it real easy for me to show you. But that area right there, good indication. Now, first part of it. Now, the second part is we get back right into that level and we start breaking it today. And what do we have for volume? About 16 million shares so far today. A couple of days ago, you had 26 million shares. We're getting back over onto the left-hand side of this Fibonacci move back to the 5th of May. You had 43 million shares, and that's what you're going into. So there isn't a lot of juice, not a lot of appetite to go after it. But at the same time, I'm not seeing a lot of appetite to take turn tail, and run this lot. Now we're down 16 points. As I said earlier in the show, I would not be surprised to see us end up at the end of the day with a rounding error. But there just isn't that much on the upside or downside that I see quite yet. Oh, boy. Everybody's got, do I have anything else out here? I got some emails, I know. So we'll go back and look at that. Okay, quick look at Apple. Did it top out either? See if you have anything. Here's what I'm talking about in a wider confluence level, and that's why I don't like these as well. But certainly, this one's about $4 on Apple, so it can get in there. It's not. I really like the narrow ones because you can really just say if it closes any higher than that by the end of the day, you don't want to be in it. So you can have incredibly tight stops on the close. In the intraday, the things can move around, but generally you're going to come and hit that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one just a little bit better. Okay, spies on the quarterly. Yeah, we'll look at that here in a minute. But anyway, You got about $5. You kind of got into it today. There's a lot out here saying that this is a lot of, yeah, that's way too long. Okay. Had some people voice their dissatisfaction about what I thought about the Obi-Wan show from yesterday, or the one that's out now. You're not going to change my mind. I think it stinks. But maybe you like it. That's great. Reviewers on YouTube have not been friendly to it. Kind of the same thing. We went a little higher out here. No volume in Disney today. 7.7 million shares compared to 20 million shares yesterday. So you got a lot of volume up here, and it just doesn't seem like there's much. We're going to be back in a.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN has just launched their new trading room, the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. And now they are expanding their reach with the Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. In the Tiger's Den, you can look over the shoulders of Tom O'Brien and the other TFNN hosts while they analyze charts during their live Tiger TV programs, and join an interactive trading community with hundreds of members exchanging ideas. Interact with other tigers and tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day, even at night and on the weekends. The Tiger's Den at Discord is accessible on mobile or tablets as well, so it's always at your reach. To sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien has just announced a live Timing the Trade webinar Friday, June 10th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Join Tom O'Brien for 5 hours of live education as he teaches you his trading methodology right from his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. In this live webinar, Tom O'Brien will be teaching you his entire trading system, including quality volume, ABC structures, Fibonacci confluence zones, cause and effect, swing points, and more. We will be limiting this class to 40 attendees, so please do not delay and reserve your seat today for this special live event with Tom O'Brien. All attendees will also receive a physical copy of his book, The Art of Timing the Trade, an $88 value, mailed to you, along with a free month of his daily newsletter, Market Insights, a $169 value. For all the details and to reserve your seat today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, Steve Rhodes and the Den brought up the longer-term confluence levels in the SPYs. Yeah, there is one out here. 314 to 309. And that's where you'd want to say I'm all in if you ever get back down to there, that level. But that's a very, very, very long-term outlook on that. But yeah, interesting. Okay, what else do we have here? Let's get back to that and this. Go back to that. We've got some emails coming in. Okay. What else on the streamers? Anything else going on here? just kind of the entire market. Let me get rid of some of these things so we can see. On Netflix, you're just back up to the previous high. That high had 16.4 million shares. You got 6 million shares today. So I can't be very bullish, but at the same time, I don't see any signals out here or option market makers changing their mind. So, we may just have for a while until we go maybe bust some lows, just a big trading range in a lot of this different market. Okay, what else do we have out here? And check in on the usual suspects with AMD. It just went sideways out here yesterday, day before, not a lot of volume. And NVDA. Okay. Yeah, about half volume on NVIDIA. So not a lot of signs of any of that. I'll go back here and look at some of the other stuff. One of our old forgotten hits from the Grooveyard, Planeteer. All you've really done here is gone and finished, for the most part, closing up the gap down, and that was back on the 9th of May. That was 170 million shares. Yesterday you got into it with 41 million shares. Today's about 24. So again, you haven't really come out and tested a lot of these lows, kind of, sorta. But on this one, if you could get back with in the $8 range with light volume, that might be interesting. Question on Tesla. Well, you got a little bit of a bounce. You got a lot of competition. I think there may be one thing, especially in California, that may really start hurting electric cars, and that is since they won't do anything about providing electricity to their subjects out there, they're talking about a lot of rolling blackouts across the summer. So if you have an electric car, what do you do when you don't have enough electricity to charge it? Now, maybe I'm looking at this the back end. Maybe you're going to charge it when you can and use it to drive your house during the time when they won't let you have electricity. But I don't know. This seems to me like a lot of problems out there on the West Coast right now. But a lot of discussions over the last week about how they're going to handle all the rolling blackouts across the summer in Southern California. And I guess if you have electric car, are they going to make sure that the charging stations have power? Will you go there and they'll just be dark? I don't know. Probably not a whole lot better with gas, but maybe there's a chance you could find a gas station easier than a charging station. Just some thoughts. They can ride their bikes. Let them eat cake. Question about MUX. I don't know what's going on this. Maybe you'd ask Tom in the next hour. This thing was held up by huge amounts of short selling for a while. We made a little money on it, but never what I thought could have been the big short squeeze in this. But you're still kind of in that. Okay. UNG. Well, you made your high. You did it on lighter volume in natural gas, or at least in the UNG. You need about 20 million shares to bust through 28. You're what right now? You're at 29.48. You don't have much in the way. I continue to think there's this double gap at about I'm going to call it about $27.25. I think that's where the first level is going to be of support. I suspect you'll be able to buy this thing probably close to the end of the summer, back by around 25, maybe 24. And then you get down there, especially around 23 on 10 million shares or 5 million shares. That may be the whole setup for next fall in natural gas. Okay. Let's take a quick look at the XLE. I believe gas stations require electricity pump. Yeah, they do, Louis. And most of them actually bought backup generators over the last few years because of the rolling blackouts. So if you go out to L.A. or San Diego, I don't know about San Francisco. I haven't been in there in a while, but they've put in generators so that they're able to pump gas when the electricity's out. Gives you an idea. What is that? Generac. It's always one to take a look at. Generac. GRGN. What's that? GRC. This is just a little engine that could. It did come way off its highs, but again, if we continue to see the West have problems generating electricity, this is back in its trading range now. It may take a long time for this thing to base out, but if you see a hurricane or bad weather or rolling blackouts, Generac is the way to go. They make home generators and generators for small business, actually even larger business. Yeah. Somewhere around 220. You may get one more test down there. That might be interesting. Okay, what else? Oh, going to the break. Be back in a minute.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
As we come back, follow up yesterday, I was looking at a lot of these highly shorted stocks, and you're getting some bounces out here. Iron Mountain was one of those. Pull back on how much volume out here today. So that one was just a little bit. See if there's anything else in my list here that gets me excited. I don't know why this symbol makes me think that I should. Beam Therapeutics. Just going sideways out here. Not bad. You got 27.77 down here as the low. Last price is 34.48. All these biotechs seem to be heavily shorted. Did see the IBB down a little bit earlier today. See what it's doing now. Not much difference. Certainly not a lot of volume in it. Yesterday, 3.2 million shares. Today, 1.2. You don't have there. Dick's Sporting Goods. Kind of surprised to see this one so heavily shorted. It's got a fairly decent bounce here off the lows, pulling back still heavily. One of the, what has it got? Almost 9 days to cover in that one. I thought if there's a stock I probably don't want to short, it's got to be a beer company. But this one, high on the list, it's almost 9 days to cover for Molson's Coors. It's down in a downtrend here. But nice pullback today. I wish I would have probably been a little bit more Johnny on the ball. This one could be a nice runner if we get some movement in the upside. Akamai, another big, heavily shorted stock that we'll look at. Just filled the gap down so far. Double gap at about 108. See what else do we have here? Anything? Now, let's go and take a look. We said it earlier on. We were going to take a look and see what we could see for earnings. Let's take a look at Chewy. CHWY. We'll look at it. Well, it is fun buying. Remember, fun buying through the close of, probably through Friday morning, I would imagine. Chewy's, I like this pattern. I wouldn't, it's too much of a bet, but it does look good. If you got some decent earnings news and people don't jump on it right after earnings, this may be a nice after-hours play in this. First low was 8 million shares back on May 12th. You had a 5 million share low back on May 24th. Today, you're down with about 7 million shares pre-earnings. Again, I wouldn't probably go in front of this, but I like the patterns out here so far. If it doesn't whiff, that may be a very interesting after-hours play. I haven't looked at GameStop for forever. And, of course, they're out. Don't know why everybody's paying a lot of attention to this heavily manipulated stock, because it has nothing to do with their ability to earn any money, just squeeze shorts. But it's coming out after the bell. Unfortunately, you don't have a really good place to hang your hat on. And I don't know if you could even get shares to short if you wanted to, and whether or not you wanted to try to see if you couldn't, get 10, 15 bucks out of this after the bell tonight. But I don't know. Probably the least of my thoughts out here. One that I'm starting to really spend a little more time looking at these days now that the pullback has come is MongoDB. A lot of these companies went straight to the moon on the idea that these non-SQL style databases that are more about think about a database of Word documents with different stuff in them, and that you can search everything fairly quickly. That's what a lot of these no SQL database companies are all about. It ran to the moon. It's trying to base out here. I don't know. I don't see a lot of it here other than support. It's really good at 250, but it's well off the highs. So that's another one I think you might want to look at tonight after the bell. Let's take a look and see tomorrow morning what we have. Hormel's another one that's always perpetually shorted the living daylights out of it. HRL. For their spam, pretty horrible day. Did they pre-announce? Hard to tell. This is a horrible day back on the 18th. That looks like a pre-announcement, but I won't spend much time in it. Going fairly sideways at 48. Maybe prices? Hard to tell. Okay, and tomorrow night, a little bit more action with Lululemon. This one actually back into the trading range now, above about 280. I got to 251.51 on May 25th. Gapped up, and now you're just underneath some resistance on that. Restoration Hardware. You got to think that, housing problematic. But again, a lot of these things did blow out to the lows. They're back kind of in what you might think a bigger trading range is. This trading right now at around, 290? So you've got a bunch of gaps in this. It did go right back up to where this double gap was. I would be very careful about this one after hours. It's right against resistance. And CrowdStrike tomorrow night. I see all the time the CNBCers are all over this one. Again, a lot of these things blew out the lows, and now they're back in the previous lows. For this one, it was January 24th of 2022, $150.02. Got up to 170.56, but support probably comes in about 150 on this thing, and you're all over resistance already. So I don't know if there's a lot of upside to these, but look tonight. Be interesting. We'll be back for the 2-minute warning.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
So as we come back, got another day and a half of fun buying this week. Maybe that's a little bit of what came in, but I did options just show very little desire for a lot higher or a lot lower. They're thinking in the range of plus or minus 25 points so far into the S&P by Friday. That may change. As we said, a little bit of earnings news out there. Maybe that'll change some stuff. Question from Ryan about Monday.com. And, you know, just a lot. These all kind of look the same. They busted the previous low with some volume, didn't really take. They got back in or close to the trading range, and now we're just going sideways. I'm going to have to wait for more information. Right now, I don't see any reason to be long or short much of anything in this market. Sometimes it's better to go fishing. But certainly, as I said in my newsletter this morning, it is about Warren Buffett and his comment that the market's really good at exchanging money from those that are impatient to those that are patient. So I think we're winding up for a big move. I just do not know what that is yet. Question about bond funds. I'm still thinking that TLT goes to a 120, 121. We didn't quite get there on the first bounce. but that gap is still there. I know we gapped down a couple of times. I'm still thinking that you can, you kind of got close. You got 119.74, but I'm thinking that you could get maybe just back into the top of this gap down from the 29th of April, and that was 120.97. So I'd kind of like that to get up there and fail for any prediction of more to the downside. But again, at least for this week, a lot of predictions are that the market doesn't do a lot either way. So don't gamble. Think and wait for the sure thing. So when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow with Tim Ord.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people.